Good afternoon. Please rise for the salute to the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to our board meeting. Before we begin, I'd like to remind everybody to please silence your phones or turn them off. The other comment that I would like to have is just a reminder that personal comments or attestation against any of our village residents will not be allowed, so please keep them to yourself. If you have a personal matter that does not affect the village as a whole, you're welcome to send an email to the board and we will try to get that addressed or arrange for a meeting. Thank you. Now we'll go on the items to be voted on. Number one will be Ms. Weinstein.
Good afternoon. Thank you, Mr. President. I make a motion to waive the reading of the minutes.
Second.
Mr. Murphy?
Yes.
Mr. Tazi?
Yes.
Mr. D'Amato?
Yes.
Mr. Lupo?
Yes.
Ms. Fox-Citelli?
Yes.
Ms. Weinstein?
Yes.
Mr. Mayoko?
Yes. Second motion, again, Ms. Weinstein.
I make a motion to approve the January 16, 2019 minutes.
Second.
Mr. D'Amato?
Yes.
Mr. Lupo?
Yes.
Mr. Murphy?
Yes.
Mr. Tazi?
Yes.
Ms. Weinstein?
Yes.
Ms. Fox-Citelli?
Yes.
Mr. Mayoko?
Yes. Third motion will be Mr. Murphy.
Thank you, Mr. President. Motion to accept the audited financial statement for fiscal year 9/30/18 as presented by the auditors.
Second.
Second.
Ms. Weinstein?
Yes.
Ms. Fox-Citelli?
Yes.
Mr. Tazi?
Yes.
Mr. Lupo?
Yes.
Mr. D'Amato?
Yes.
Mr. Murphy?
Yes.
Mr. Mayoko?
Yes. Fourth and last motion will be, again, Mr. Murphy.
Motion to approve the policy resolution for excess income applied to the following year's assessment.
Second.
Ms. Fox-Citelli?
Yes.
Ms. Weinstein?
Yes.
Mr. Lupo?
Yes.
Mr. Tazi?
Yes.
Mr. Murphy?
Yes.
Mr. D'Amato?
Yes.
Mr. Mayoko?
Yes. Thank you. Next will be the recreation report. Ms. Lighthype.
Thank you, Mr. Mayoko. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm happy to report the slate of officers for the Bingo Club has been filled. The next bingo will be held Wednesday, March 20th at 7 p.m. in Willow Hall. Join us for a day of art and flowers when we visit the Barnes Foundation and the Philadelphia Flower Show on Thursday, March 7th. Tickets are on sale now. Only a few seats remain for our trip to the Performing Arts Center for the truly unique Chinese musical production of Shen Yun. Stop by the recreation office if interested. Unfortunately, our Friday afternoon night of dance on February 22nd has been canceled due to scheduling issues with the dance troupe. We hope to welcome these talented girls back at a later date. Sign up now for our free program, Ladies' Night Out, an evening that will feature a variety of free health screenings as well as giveaways, door prizes, chair massages. Light fare will be served. Enrollment is limited. Clubs and groups may review their current ad in the welcome booklet at the Willow Recreation Office. Revisions must be received by February 28th. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Lighthype. Next will be the community manager's report. Mr. Schultz.
Yes, sir. Hello, everyone. I don't have much today, but Jim has a whole bunch, so I'm going to defer to him because he's got a bunch of things.
I have a few things. Good afternoon, everyone. I'll start off with a good note. If anybody's been in Club Encore, the coffee lounge is moving very well. Chairs and ice maker were delivered yesterday. The rough is just about done. We should be doing some taping, spackling, painting, and then the floor goes down. So we're moving very well on that. We're very, very pleased with that. I have 4 memos I'd like to read today. First one is from Mr. Caravella, our grounds manager. We have a need to replace 2 salt spreaders, which were purchased in 2011 and are fully funded. These spreaders are an essential part of our snow removal operation. These are the ones that sit on the back of our dump trucks and spread our salt, which we've done in the last storm, if you've noticed out there. The company that makes these 2 pieces of equipment was acquired by a competitor, and they no longer support this piece of equipment. They are barely functioning right now, but we cannot afford to be without salt spreaders. So we've asked the board if we can go out to bid, and we did. Crescent Hydraulics came in these are for 2 spreaders with tax and shipping, $8,493.75. Ultra Equipment, $9,756.19, and County Line Power, $11,089. It is our recommendation to purchase 2 Salt Dog tailgate spreaders from Crescent Hydraulics for a cost of $8,493.75. This fully funded expense will be charged through GL 3150 Property Replacement Fund. Now, due to the fact that we cannot afford to go without salt spreaders, and these have reached their lifespan without any chance of repairing them, I present this information to the board.
Can one of the board members make a motion, or do we have any discussion?
I think we've discussed it enough in the back, in our closed session. I'd like to make a motion that we go with this recommendation and go for the purchase of the 2 Salt Dog tailgate spreaders from Crescent Hydraulics for the cost of not to exceed $8,493.75.
I second.
Mr. Tazi?
Yes.
Ms. Foxatelli?
Yes.
Ms. Weinstein?
Yes.
Mr. D'Amato?
Yes.
Mr. Murphy?
Yes.
Mr. Lupo?
Yes.
Mr. Myoko?
Yes. Thank you.
Thank you. Jean, go ahead. Second one is from Howard Height. This is in reference to our HVAC project that has been completed at Club Encore. The Encore HVAC contract was approved, awarded, and completed by Toms River Heating and Air Conditioning. Upon the final inspection by the Township of Manchester's Building Department, they requested a couple additional items. We were required to obtain sealed engineering drawings and the installation of some lentils where we had to penetrate the brick wall to go through with some new ductwork. And also during the process, we found that there were 2 faulty shutoff switches at 2 of the units that we were replacing. So we contacted Lockatong Engineering, who had previously done some floor plans and a study when we were originally looking at our chiller units for that building. So they were familiar with the building, had the floor plans and all that already, so we could save some expense. So we contracted with them to meet Manchester's Township's needs. The cost for the sealed engineered drawings from Lockatong Engineering, $6,050. The installation of the 2 lentils that needed to be completed, we brought in an outside contractor, complete masonry and repairs, for a cost of $2,850. And then the replacement of the 2 faulty shutoffs switches, which were at the auditorium and the stage units, by Curry Electric for $2,410.79. Now these we knew we were going to have some unforeseen expenses. We kept the board abreast of this as the project was progressing. So we asked the board to memorialize these expenses. They will be charged to GL 3230 Capital Replacement Common Buildings for a total of $11,310.79.
Yeah.
Is there a motion on the floor?
I'll make a motion. I'd like to then make a motion to memorialize these expenses for a total of $11,310.79 to be charged to GL 3230 Capital Replacement Common Buildings. Thank you.
Second?
Second.
Ms. Foxatelli?
Sarah?
Sarah?
Second.
Second.
Yes, say yes.
Yes.
Mr. Tazi?
Yes.
Mr. D'Amato?
Yes.
Mr. Murphy?
Yes.
Ms. Weinstein?
Yes.
Mr. Lupo?
Yes.
Mr. Myoko?
Yes. Thank you.
The next two memos are first reads. They will be voted on at our next Board of Trustee meetings. They both pertain to pool services. One is a renovation at Willow Pool, and one is the pool management company. We'll first talk about the pool management company. We sent out to 8 pool management companies a request for proposal for the 2019 pool season. In the RFP, we asked for 3 separate quotes, which are listed. The first would be to provide pool management service with the use of 1 lifeguard at each pool. The second of the RFPs was for pool management service, along with 2 lifeguards at each pool. The third was to have a unguarded September 9th through September 30th at Willow Pool for those times with just pool management, no lifeguards. So we've gone out to bid, and just a final note, if we do go with 1 lifeguard, we have to apply for our permissible exemption through the Ocean County Health Department that will allow us to have either 0 guards or as many guards as we wish. So we went out to bid to 8 companies. Candlewood Management Services, they came in at $54,850 for 1 lifeguard at each pool. $85,250 for 2 lifeguards at each pool, and then their unguarded expense, which they still need to come out here, even if we don't have a guard, to do water monitoring, clean the pool, chemicals, and all that kind of items. They came in at $1,748.65. Again, this is the first reading, so everybody will have an opportunity to see this. Second is Sparkling Pools, who we had for the last 3 years. They came in at $60,400 for pool management services and 1 guard, $89,100 for pool management and 2 guards, and $2,100 for the unguarded September 9th through 30th. The third, Caramona Pools, $60,700 for pool management, 1 guard, $107,700 for pool management and 2 guards, and $4,800 for the unguarded time. American Pools RMS decided not to bid. Bennington Pools did not return a bid. Imperial Pools gave us a quote for pool management, but they do not supply guards. Central Jersey Management and Pool Operation Management all did not return their bid after speaking with them many, many times. All the bids above for pool management and lifeguard services met our RFP and provided similar services. After the discussion with the board, we have been directed to move forward with taking our exemption, which will allow us to have 0 guards or up to as many guards as we'd like, and to use 1 lifeguard per pool for the 2019 season. It is our recommendation to contract with our pool management services with Candlewood Pool Management for the 2019 season for 1 lifeguard per pool at a cost of $54,850, along with the option of the unguarded end of the pool season for $1,748.65. The total expense of $56,598.65 will be charged to operating GL 8570, swimming pool repair and maintenance. Thank you. A lot of information. Next one also is about the pools. This is for the pool renovation. We're talking about Willow Pool. The options have been investigated on whether to replace or renovate Willow Pool. Now, this has been going on for several years, intensely over the last 8 years to 1 year. 2 separate requests for proposals were sent out to bid and received. After the bids were received, options were discussed, facts evaluated, and it was determined that the best path for LVW at this time is to renovate Willow Pool in lieu of replacing it. The RFP that was sent out for the renovation was sent to 8 commercial pool renovation companies. There were some additional costs that will come into play during the renovation when it's taking place. These may be unforeseen plumbing and electrical upgrades, along with some in-house suggested upgrades. The bids received and upgrades are listed below. Now, there is a little disparity between some of the bids, so sit back and here we go. Sparkling pools, $68,835. Now, I'll go into what this entails. Let me just read the bids first. Fortunato Pools, $85,354. Blue Haven Pools, $94,700. And Blue Dream Pools, $119,550. Creative Pools, Omega Pools, Buds Pools, and Cipriano, thank you. Their bids either did not meet our specifications or did not come in time or did not even submit them. We would also ask for some upgrading of the cement decking. This is stuff that we would handle in-house. Cement decking of $4,000 additional dollars. Redoing the wood deck at Willow Hall for $2,500. Lighting, $8,000, upgrade to lighting at the pool. Some foreseen electrical and plumbing upgrades, $3,000 each, and $2,500 for permits. That equals $23,000. Now, before I give you the final recommendation, let me just go over what is entailed. They will uncover the pool. They will sand or water blast it. Once that is done, any cracks, any deficiencies will all be repaired. It'll be re-plastered in a quartz finish. We will pick the color. All the tile will be replaced. Again, we will pick the color. Replace any depth markers that are required by code. Replace the coping, which is that top edge that goes all the way around the pool. Replacing every skimmer we have, the 5 of them. Replacing the pumps and motors, the pump and motor with a variable speed pump and motor that will help us in some of our electrical costs. And replace our filters. Now, after a lot of investigations, we found that we're recommending that they go with a cartridge filter. We don't have to backwash it. It's a little easier for maintenance. We just go in, replace the cartridge, put a clean one in, and keep rotating them. And then replace the decking, approximately 1,000 additional square feet. The wood decking is replace it with a Trex type, no more wood, but that composite Trex. Replace the railing with, get rid of the wood and go with a nice vinyl railing. Replace the lighting, upgrade it with LED lighting, and then some additional plumbing and electric upgrades. After carefully reviewing all the bids and references, even though they are not the low bid, Blue Haven Pool's references were fantastic, and they best meet our needs and requirements. If the board wishes to move forward with the renovation, it would be our recommendation to contract with Blue Haven Pools for a cost of $94,700 and also approve the estimated upgrades for $23,000 plus additional unforeseen expenses for a total not to exceed $120,000. This expense would be charged to GL 3230, Capital Replacement Common Buildings. Now, by doing this renovation, we intend to get an additional 7 to 10 years out of this pool without having to go forward with any future or further repairs to that pool. I have a question coming up, it seems like.
Peg Burke, 1052A Buckingham. You're talking about lighting at the pool. Are you going to put anything under in the water? You know, lights underneath?
Go ahead. Bigger. At this point, no, but part of the electrical upgrade, see, some years back, our insurance company informed us to remove any electric that runs through the pool. So we are looking at some options that would be part of this to go with, and thank you, fiber optic lighting that could light the bottom of the pool, which is that issue we're having up at Club Encore. So we are looking into doing that, yes.
Okay.
That's all I have. Oh, we have another question. Please do.
Julie Welsh, Canterbury Drive. I have a question. They're going to do it for the 2019 before this summer? Is that when you're planning?
Yes,
Okay. And will they warranty all of the items?
yes.
My question is that you went out to bid for the repair and maintenance of both pools. Will that therefore be less maintenance required on that pool?
I don't know if I understand the question. By redoing the pool, will there be less maintenance?
Yes.
Without a doubt.
So wouldn't the bid be, wouldn't you be asking the person who bid on it to charge
Okay,
us
you're
less
talking
money?
about the two,
Yes.
the renovation. No, that part, no. The maintenance would be our in-house maintenance. We go every year. We have to re-plaster. We have to put tile back up. The pool contract is just water maintenance, cleaning, and that kind of stuff.
All
So
right.
they don't really tie together. It's
Okay.
more of our in-house pre-season stuff that will be freed up to do something else.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
I just have to finish on one more thing, one more good bit of information, hopefully. The board has talked with us for many years now about giving a little bit extra time for you to do the business here in Leisure Village West. So what we're kicking around this year, at least to start it off, and we'll see how it goes this year, is starting in April, we will have Saturday hours, I think we settled on Willow Hall here, right? 8 to 2 p.m., we'll have somebody there, hopefully so that you can do your business here for Leisure Village West. Whether it's sell tickets, take care of your, so I'm sorry. Thank you. It's twice a month we're doing that on Saturdays, from 8 p.m. to 2 p.m. So starting on April 6th, all the way through until October 19th on Saturdays. The first and third Saturdays, they're telling. I should have one of those little things in the ear. So hopefully that you'll take advantage of that. We'll see how it goes this year. If it goes well, there might be expansion in the future. This won't cost you anything. We're going to do this in-house. 7 employees now are going to share this time. They'll have to do 2 Saturdays, and they'll get some time off during the week for doing that work. So hopefully you enjoy it. Let's see where it goes.
Hi, Eileen McCarthy, 11B Sterling. Joe, I just wanted to clarify, is that just going to be at the offices in the halls, or is it going to be your office?
We're
the
talking
association?
about doing it here in Willow Hall.
Oh, just Willow Hall, okay.
Right,
I
but
didn't know
with
that.
our new software, our new TOPS 1 software, there's a good hope if we get good training, which we have to get out of here today early because we have training. Hopefully with that and our new connections that we have with Fios, we'll be able to take care of a lot of things in that one spot.
In that one spot. Okay,
Yeah.
thanks.
And that's all we had for our manager's report.
Good. Thank you. We'll go to the unfinished business part of the meeting. As you can see, the one item that we wrote down is the drafted ballot to reject LVW bylaw amendment. This has been discussed and presented, I think, going back to November of last year, many, many times over. It's also now on Creeper, the LVW, the TV, 1971 and 1972, on the hour and half hour, and the board will be ready to vote on it at our next session, February 20th. I'd like to make a brief statement now that's part of unfinished business. Happy to report that the ad hoc committee that did the space needs analysis test here at the village, which was spearheaded by Mr. Lupo and Mr. Tazi, has come to its conclusion. They made a presentation to the board this morning of their findings. A lot of information was submitted. With that, some pleasant information came through that we're digesting. And before we go any further, I would like to bring the floor to Mr. D'Amato, who has a nice presentation.
Somebody come
Yes.
Tom
have a
Farrell,
question?
Liverpool Circle. So the unfinished business on the rejection ballot is now concluded? Was what you said, is that what we're going to hear today?
It'll be concluded at our next meeting when the vote will actually take place and the information will be disseminated and we will be voting on it.
Okay, well, that wasn't what I was asking. You said a few words about it, and you mentioned that it's been discussed at other meetings.
Yes.
And so I was waiting for Mr. Schultz to say something because it was under community manager. But so whatever is going to be said on that subject by those of you up there is done.
Yes.
Okay, then I have a comment on that. Mr. Schultz created a video which is being shown at the top of the hour on TV channel 1970, bottom of the hour on 1971, and it's also available on the LVDW Creeper. This is his exact statement. I've transcribed it. Unlike other ballots that you have received in the past, this rejection ballot will not come with a stamped return envelope, as the amendments are supported by the board. The voter must return it to the ballot box in the association office or return it by mail using the owner's own stamp. This is a major departure from the way ballots have been conducted for years and years now. In the past, the voter received the ballot and received a self-addressed stamped envelope. Last September, we were under Radburn, and the ballots were stamped, return ballots. It's obvious to even any impartial observer that if you don't send the envelopes with stamps on them, you'll probably get less returns, which then would favor the board's position and support of the ballot being not rejected. So, since Mr. Schultz's statement implies that the trustees are in agreement with not sending a stamped envelope to the residents, it would appear that, can I ask for either a show of hands of those trustees that agree to not send a stamped envelope? Or could you take a poll right now?
There's no need for a poll. It was approved by the board.
When?
And as far as the stamps, what's different in this poll is that the amendments were already approved by the board. So this is a rejection. We're not asking, the poll is not asking the community to approve. They've been approved. We're asking if you have any objection to any one of those items that are listed in that document, and I believe there's 8 or 9 of them. You can reject all of them, or you can reject singly any one of them. But it was felt that the majority of the village is going to support the board and have approved them since it's been out there for quite a while. There
Well, I
was
think
no
I was
major
crystal
objection.
clear. I didn't ask that question.
So we're
I
saving-
asked which trustees support not sending a stamped envelope so that it's convenient for the resident to
That's-
return their rejection ballot.
That's not relevant. I don't think it's relevant, doesn't need to be responded by the board. The board supports it. That's what's critical.
The board is
The board
approved.
supports the
The board is
rejection.
in agreement with that the ballot will go
Whoa,
out
whoa, whoa,
as it
whoa,
is.
whoa. I've been watching these meetings, even though I haven't been here. Mr. Mallego, I know this might not be the right time, but the training rules for trustees, which we all were provided a copy, says that before a trustee speaks, you're supposed to grant permission. I've watched these meetings, and there's a lot of interruption going on all the time. So I directed my question at you. If you're saying there's a refusal to let us know which trustees agree with not stamping an envelope and sending it, I accept that. I don't need any further comment. Thank you.
Thank you.
Walter Diluski, Stratford Court. I've spoken before about this ballot, okay? I'm very much opposed to it. I think it can lead to unexpected consequences. This situation, well, let me go back a year and a half ago. A year and a half ago, we had a board here who were making decisions based upon 4 people. There were 4 trustees that were ruling the board, okay? What this ballot is so the board could approve any amendment that they want, okay, by 4 people in this village. And unless you get a return of 10%, correct? 10% of the ballots, okay, this will be passed. So we got 4 people basically making a decision, okay, that could be of consequence.
No,
That's
go ahead.
erroneous.
it's not 4 people making this decision. It will be ultimately the membership that rejects if they mail in the ballot on any item of those number that are on the ballot that they want to reject, they mail the ballot in. It's not the board. It is up to the membership for 30 days. 30 days, you can reject the ballot. If
But you have to get 10% of the vote.
10% to reject, yes.
Okay. We just recently, we had a budget meeting. I don't think there were 10 people in the audience, okay? Apathy is running wild in this village, and I understand that's probably why Radburn was actually passed, okay? So that this way you could get things done, okay, and you would only need, you wouldn't need to send out and get approval from 50 or 60 or 70% of the population. Okay? But I think, you know, in this situation, if you come around at Christmas time or something like that, who is going to decide what is important to send out and what is not important to send out?
Just to clarify, Walter, there is nothing financial in those ballot questions.
In these.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
in
but
those,
there'll be
yes. So
future-
let's talk about the ones that we have, not speculating what may or may not happen in the future. The whole thing for Radburn was to get people involved in the community, the membership to be able to vote. You can't compare what happened or what was the election of trustees to bylaw changes. These bylaw changes are basically housekeeping. We're changing a date. We're changing when the officers take office. We're not changing any duties or anything else like that. These are basically like housekeeping. So if you have a problem with any of those, use your stamp, mail the ballot in. That's the bottom line.
who is going to determine what is substantial and what isn't? The board?
Substantial to what? What do you?
Well, if you wanted to change something that is, these seem like relatively simple things. You're changing a word here from assembly to this, to that, okay? Suppose you wanted to change something else in the bylaws.
Then there would be.
Okay, and the board approves it, and they send it out, and nobody cares, okay? And then you said, oh, that's the way we did it for years.
Yeah, Mr. Dyluski, what would happen in the future, you're as Mr. Lupo alluded, I think you're concerned with future board meetings. This looks like it's an attempt to pass resolutions, to change amendments at a whim. Any amendment changes would have to be presented in an open forum like it is today, where you have a reading, you have an explanation of that reading, and then it gets out to vote by the trustees in a public forum. The community then has the opportunity to say, wait a minute, I don't like that amendment. The 8 or 9 amendments that were recently done were as a result of Radburn changes. And as Mr. Lupo alluded to, those were just primarily cleanup housekeeping. So an officer, a newly elected officer, can take office immediately rather than wait a 2-week period, which was an awkward time to become a lame duck. That's what those amendments were. They're all clean housekeeping amendments.
I've looked into them, okay? I'm not objecting to these particular amendments. What I'm saying is that you're setting up a precedent for things that could be more substantial in the future, okay? And a board could very well back the amendments that they're going to change, okay? Send it out. They don't get a rejection on it, and all of a sudden, when was that passed? When was that passed? Oh, that was passed when everybody was in Florida. It was done at the 2 days before Christmas, or
How changes are made by the board is no different than what it's always been. It's an open forum, discussions take place, a vote takes place. It's public. The community now has a quick opportunity within 30 days of when that when that act was changed to reject it. Do a polling, reject it, and it gets rejected if you have more than 10%. That's all that rejection ballot is attempting to do.
you're telling me that on previous occasions, okay, that votes weren't cast by the public, by the residents here on amendments?
When were bylaw amendments even put forward? In the past 4 years, how many bylaw amendment changes have even been put forward that were voted on? 2, and they were to change the threshold for the capital expenditure, village-wide vote, membership-wide vote. That is something that would actually have to physically change how things are approved by the membership. These things are Radburn, when they changed how voting was to take place, we voted later, and there would be October 1st was when you took office. Radburn says the day that the results of the election are in, that person is a trustee. So we have to change our bylaws to say now the person is now going to be a trustee as of that date. That's what's changing, nothing else. So when you go through and you look at these, anything that you're speculating about in the future would be something that would have to be a approval vote, not a rejection vote. That's the way that it's going to be. This right now is a rejection. Anything else would be an approval.
You're saying that any other changes to our bylaws are only going to be done by an approval vote?
They should be, unless we can find more clerical, unless we can find more clerical things.
Can I just add a little something to this? That we said this at a previous meeting. The board could change anything in the bylaws only. That's what this Radburn bill did to us. With only the bylaws. Won't affect the master deed. That has to be done the normal way. So if we were to do something radical, right, the board would do that at their own peril. It's very easy for you to get 10% of the population to object to something that they decide to do.
You think it's easy.
10%? 10%?
10%, yeah.
We'll
How
achieve
many
that in
people
the
were
first...
here at the budget meeting, Joe?
We'll achieve, no, we're talking about, this ballot is still mailed to you. You will get a ballot
right.
in the mail.
Okay,
So
it
you will,
won't have a
let's say
stamp
you-
on it. It could be mailed to Florida, who cares?
Yes. But let's say it's something that everyone is opposed to. You're going to get that. You'll be able to reject that instantly. And besides, when they go to motion to approve something like that, you're going to all be here. It's going to be on the agenda, and you would shout them down if they tried to do something really ridiculous. That's not what this is about.
You know, you act like you get 100% participation on voting, okay? You don't, okay?
And that's
you're
why-
You're lucky sometimes to get 50.
And that's exactly why they contemplated this when they were doing the Radburn bill. Exactly why.
Right, exactly, okay? But they don't know how this is going to work out eventually, okay? And I'm looking at what could possibly go wrong.
So they would
What
do
you're
this-
saying is that everything is going to be hunky-dory from now on.
Any proposed change is what we're saying, the board would do with that at their own peril, right? They're not going to use this method for something so egregious to people. It's not going to do it.
We had board members going around when we were consolidating the condos, okay? We had board members going around knocking on doors, okay, to get votes.
Different
In
thing.
the village.
That's apples and oranges here. That's different. That's the master deed.
Granted, it was the master deed, but this is what can happen, okay? Because there is apathy. We both agree that there's apathy, okay? But there's apathy on the negative vote of this ballot also. Okay, people are going to say, this is too confusing for me. I don't understand this. I got to go back to all these paragraphs. I got to read what this is doing, that's doing. I'm not going to do it.
Right.
Mr. President.
Okay. Mr. Dylewski, I think we've gone through a lot. If there's more information, we can have a one-on-one discussion with you, either myself or Mr. Schultz or any other members of the board. We need to move on to the next speaker. Thank you.
The best wishes to the Leisure Village West, okay, if this passes. Thank you.
Let me get a word in. Hello?
Karen Hooyer, 1015A Buckingham. Is this the right time to bring up a question about the amendments, actually, the amendment itself?
A question about
Go
a
ahead.
specific amendment.
Yeah, okay. First of all, it said a side-by-side comparison, and it could have been underlined and strikeouts so that it was really, you didn't have to sit there like, like this with your fingers. But I do have a question about the last one, section 14, trustees open forum. What kind of meetings are included in the open forum? Is that the board meetings, the audit meetings, the budget meetings? Is that an all-inclusive term?
Okay, an open forum, what is the open forum?
Yeah, does that include all meetings? The term?
Well, these are board meetings typically. We've abused that over the years. Open forum is really when you come here and express your thoughts, right? Sort of like our audience comments at the end. As a matter of fact, we're contemplating having an open forum pretty soon.
Like a town hall meeting, we used to call them?
Like a town hall. Town hall we tend to think of as a specific purpose. An open forum is really for you to talk to the board about other things that you might be interested in.
All right, because it doesn't seem like there's an opening here to have that kind of a forum where everyone's invited to express their opinions, except for this, And we'd like to limit these meetings, so having a night meeting of 3 hours is kind of different, and it doesn't seem like it would be included here. But then there's also the change of 7 working days to 5 working days. Is there a reason to take 2 days off from something like that?
Yeah, because we just don't get it done on time. We've been pretty much in violation of the bylaws for quite some time because the board has to get together with us. We usually tend to settle that the Friday before this meeting, and we get together and we agree what's going to be on, what's not going to be on, what's ready, what's not ready. So to try to get it more consistent with today, we wanted to go back to that, or change it to the 5 calendar days.
All right, because also the other amendments, it says to be, is to be by means of all Leisure Village West Media.
Yeah.
And then you took that out of here and just made it certain kinds of notices?
Right. The media has changed over the years here. You know, we used to just have one thing, Channel 12. We had one newspaper. Now there's many different ways for us to make those announcements. There's the internet, the email, we got the one call. So we try to make it just generic. We're going to contact
And that would
you
be
with
nice to put into that one too, because you didn't put that in here to be, it says to be responsive and respond by publicly or by letter is determined by the board. Everything here is determined by the board, and it doesn't say that you're going to give us notice by, you know, all means, all means.
all media.
You know, all media. I'm just pointing a couple things out that.
Yeah, those are lingering in the old bylaws, you know, Channel 12. That's why we had to change it, because it consistently said through the bylaws Channel 12 or Channel 15 or whatever it said. Just a cleaning up, just a housekeeping.
That's housekeeping, as Mr. Lupo alluded
housekeeping
to
that we
before.
talked
Just
about.
clean up the language.
All right, but it could have been, all media could have been included in that last one too.
Thank you.
Can I say something?
Mr. Tazi?
If I remember right, these are just examples.
That's what we're actually voting on.
They're just examples.
Oh, that's the real thing.
No, I know what the ballot is. I'm saying, but all of these things are examples of what you can change. You're looking into it saying that, boy, you got 15, 20 things. We have no idea what could happen. We may not be voting on Article number 2, 3, Section 13. This is just to let you know this is what it would look like.
Mr. Tazi, those are,
And
it's a sample.
you guys are going bonkers over here.
Mr. Tazi, it's a sample because it's not.
That's all it is, a sample.
We didn't vote on it yet. Then it's official. It's our document. Thank you. Next.
Yeah, I don't want to get involved in that one. Tom Farrell, Liverpool Circle. Since you're not going to vote on this for 2 weeks, my question is this: I'm curious. In the past, for years now, and we have Mary Lou Donner over there, we used to swear in the new board on October. The first meeting in October was also the beginning of the new fiscal year budget. With this change, we're still going to stick with the fiscal year budget beginning in October 1st, but the bylaws are going to move the trustees up to being sworn in August. Mr. Tazi, I'm sure, being a businessman, understands that's a rather unusual situation. Usually, you're responsible for the calendar, the year that you're in office. So the question is this, with all that said, is there some reason that the bylaws can't be modified to put those two in sync with one another?
Yeah, right now, it's because of, if you look in the bylaws, it also says when the vote is supposed to be held. Vote is supposed to be held someday in September. Doesn't say what day, it says someday in September. So when the election happens, Radburn said, as soon as the election results are made, that winner is now a trustee. So when we had the results of the last election done, the chair of the election committee swore those people in right then. So we did not wait until October 1st, which is what the bylaws said, but we were in compliance with Radburn. So that's what's going on. Our fiscal year, we could change our fiscal year to the calendar year also. We have contracts that start in January, not in October. So there are a number of reasons why we're not changing the fiscal year at this point. The
The answer to my question is there's nothing preventing us from matching that up and making the
No, it
physical
would just
year
have to
match
be,
up with the...
yeah, it would just have to be either a rejection ballot like this, or a ballot where we would have to get 51% approval to change something in the bylaws. That's what it would take, 51% approval.
Okay. So then my request is, if it can be done with a rejection ballot, as you said, can we consider making them
We
sync?
We
So-
did look at it, but with, again, like I said, we have calendar year, we have fiscal year, so we decided to stay with the fiscal year.
Okay. Could I ask a question of Mr. Schultz?
Yes.
Mr. Schultz, you seem to be the individual that primarily interacts with the attorneys and works the details of all this. You present it. Is that accurate, what we just heard?
Oh, that you can move it?
No.
I missed a part then. What
That we
you-
we could add to the amendment and match up the fiscal year with the
If the board-
terms of the trustees?
If the board sees that as a desire, sure, that could be done. I don't see the need to do that, but yes.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Chuck Corvo, Liverpool Circle. If some of these are recommended by the Radburn Law or part of the Radburn Law, why do we have to put them out to vote? Isn't that something that you could just change if it's a state law?
No, it's not in the law itself. It's just that it's customary for you to take office when you're elected. You ran on a platform, let's say, you're entitled to start your platform that day.
It's
right?
not in the Radburn Law?
It's not specifically in there, but all communities, it's common practice. We were the only ones not doing it this way. Common practice for you to take office after election.
Okay, so none of these changes then are specific to the law itself, written in the...
Indirectly, I wanted to do some of these things when we did the change last year, but they didn't come under that category where you can change it by law. These came under the category of a rejection ballot.
So if these were, as an example, part of the Radburn Law, you could have just made the change?
You could just do it, correct. The board can just do it if it was a part of the law.
Thank you.
Thank you. That was quite a... Yes, now, where we left off, I think the Space Utilization Committee has concluded its summation. I don't know if you want to do a little finale, Mr. Lupo?
Okay, thank you, Mr. President. Sal, Tazi, and I, and with the help of staff, especially Mary and her staff, to gather up the information, our task was to, in a nutshell, identify how many clubs we have, how many members are in each club, where they meet, when they meet, how often they meet, and to determine the capacities of each one of the rooms, are groups of or entities meeting in a room that is the right size. You can't put 40 people in a room that only has a capacity of 20, but we like to put in 40 people in a capacity of 360. So that was one of the things that we were able to do, and we made our presentation to the board showing them every room, how often it is used, by what club, how often during the month. Some clubs meet every week. Their boards meet in different places than their actual meetings. So we went through all of this, and I thank Mary and her staff for gathering up all this information, using the calendar wizard that is now on lvwcreeper.com. I urge everyone to get onto that site and to look at it. You will see for the entire year, you could look at every day to see who's using what room where. Every club, activity, assembly that we're calling now are all listed there. The only thing that we don't have listed there are non-recurring events. such as private parties or special events that the Recreation Department does. Showtime, Grandparents' Day, they're not listed there because they're one-ofs. But everything else that is a recurring event, you will see, we have the utilization reports here. You see it on the calendar, you see it in our magazine. May not be 100% right because of timing of when things get into the magazine. The deadline is before a change is made, possibly. So, but on the whole, that's what it is. We have given our recommendation to the board and to the liaison and on what we think should happen now. And if there's anything else, Sal, you would like to add to that?
I participated, but from my house. I didn't get a chance to go out and see a lot of things. And the conclusion that Chuck and I have come to is, I think, very well founded. We presented it to the board. We gave them all the information. We then gave both a recommendation of Chuck and I when it comes to the moratorium. And then in turn, it's in the hands right now of the liaison, who will then proceed now to fill in the audience as to what the results were.
In light of the information presented by Mr. Tazi and Mr. Lupo, I make a motion to lift the existing moratorium of the forming of any new club, groups, or assemblies.
Second.
I second the motion.
Mr. Tazi?
Vote?
Mr. Tazi?
Okay, yes.
Mr. D'Amato?
Yes.
Mr. Murphy?
Yes.
Ms. Foxatelli?
Yes.
Ms. Weinstein?
Yes.
Mr. Lupo?
Yes.
Mr. Mayoko?
Yes. Thank you.
So now we have clerks.
Now, bear in mind, the moratorium is lifted, but still, investigation is now in the hands of the Recreation Activities Division because they're in charge of clubs, groups, and so forth. Okay, so once it's identified which category you fit in, is where you'll find out what the next step is.
Thank you.
So right now, if anyone is interested, you could look at the charter for the Community Services Committee, chaired by Janice Saylor, and you will see it's their responsibility to assign rooms working with Recreation Department. So that was thought that it was part of this space utilization, and it wasn't. Our task was to identify, and Recreation and Community Services will be doing the assignments of rooms as of now. What? In the liaisons.
Okay.
Thank you. That was good news, huh? Under new business, what we have is from the liaison, Mrs. Telly has an announcement to make.
I'm sure that everyone here knows Gloria Freem, and she has run Viston for more years than I can even imagine. And due to health problems, she had to resign. And we all feel that she should only have good years ahead and will still be a member in our village. And we wish her the best and thank her for all the wonderful years that she has put in for us. She always went beyond the call of duty. In bad weather, she would even do Viston from her home. And so she deserves a great thanks. Let's all give her a hand.
Thank you. Added to that, I'd also like to announce that Ms. Adele Schulman has stepped down from the position of chairperson on the ADR committee, or just the ADR. So there will be a new chairperson assigned soon. Thank you. Does the board have any other announcements?
On a personal note, I'd like to thank everybody for your cards and phone calls. Okay, I'm recovering okay. A little longer than I anticipated, but thank you all again.
Thank you. Next meeting will be on February 20th. Everybody remember to turn on their cell phones. Be safe. This business meeting is adjourned.
Just give us a second.
Give us a minute. For those remaining behind, please remember to keep your phones off, silence them. Thank you. Okay, we're now going into audience comments portion.
Hi.
Right ahead.
Gail Diluski, 908A Stratford Court. I want to take this time to thank all our friends at Leisure Village West for your kind thoughts and prayers to our 40-year-old son, Michael, who had successful open heart surgery at Cleveland Clinic on January 17th. Trying to put this thank you into words doesn't do justice to how much this meant to us. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Julie Welsh, Canterbury Drive.
Can you come closer to the mic, please, or pull it down?
Stinks being short.
Push it down.
I have a quick question that probably is an easy answer. Wanted to know, with my insurance, my home insurance, the condo insurance.
You need to get closer to the microphone.
Oh, the condo
Perfect.
insurance. My insurance company told me to come to my association and ask them what is insured on our condo so I know what I should be insuring on my end. Where would I get a copy of that?
Okay, you want to get an HO6, right? That's your insurance company. What they want you to do is get a copy of the association's insurance.
Right, exactly.
Okay, and the administration area, they could provide you that.
Who?
Just come to the association office, and they can give you all the information for that.
Oh, okay, thank you very much. Yeah, because they said that I'm probably double paying
You could
what's
be.
insured
You
here,
could
and they
be.
wanted to review it. Thank you.
You may be. Thank you.
Hi, Barbara Owens, 1145A Thornbury. I want to thank the board for the comments in the beginning about what you said about one resident not saying things against the other resident. I think it's wonderful this way. What happened to my husband at the last meeting would not happen again. Thank you.
Thank you. We try to keep it civil. All right, everybody. Be careful. Enjoy the, well, it started coming down in temperature again, but enjoy the rest of the day. Be safe.